Uncensored.
It's time, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the podcast that is all about intellectually immature nonsense.
Are a very particular set of skills.
And by God, this is the BS.
Uncensored.
All right, this is what we're going to call FBI Fridays. No matter when we release it,
right,
it's still going to be FBI Fridays. My name is Jason Bailey. There's Nikki D. There is Nelson. And welcome to the podcast. And we have, on the radio show, developed a relationship here in Sacramento with the FBI. And I mean, it just doesn't get cooler than the conversations that we've had on and off the air.
right.
But to have them on, so I was like, let's try this on the new launch of the podcast so we can have as much time as we want and talk about whatever it is that we want. I know we're going to, kind of pinpoint something here with our new friend, but we welcome back the public affairs specialist, Gina Swankie. How are you, Gina, over there?
I'm doing well. Good morning.
Hello.
Always great to see you. You always look so stylish. I love it. So
Thank
pretty.
you.
Who said stylish? Was that Gina or Nikki?
I said it because she's always looking so stylish and pretty when she comes in here.
Oh, I thought she was complimenting me on my new haircut.
No,
No.
she wasn't.
Did you see the new haircut? What do you think?
I see that.
You know-
It's very summery.
It's very what?
Summery.
Summery. Okay, well, I got it for winter so I can wear beanies.
Okay.
So it doesn't mess up my hair because I love beanies.
Okay.
And this is it. But somebody told me I look very Lincoln, California. And I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either.
There's like, do you have a flag on your truck or something like that?
Interesting.
And you know what
So
I
you're getting profiled is what you're telling me.
It's exactly what I'm getting.
Okay.
I'm getting FBI profile.
All right.
You know what I said to those people, Gina? I said, so you're asking me if I'm from Georgia? I said, yes, that's where I just moved from. If that's what the haircut fits, that's exactly what it is. And you brought us a new friend.
I did?
Yana Nebyshinets.
Oh, wow. I'm impressed.
Right? Is that
That
right?
was really good. Yep. Nebyshinets.
Yeah. So, and you are, before we started, I heard you're from Russia originally?
Yes.
And now you live here in California.
Yes.
All right, cool. So when did you
Move over.
When did you transition to the Fresno area?
I was born in Russia, and then I moved when I was 3 years old with my family.
Gotcha.
And so we resettled in Washington and then came down to Fresno because they wanted a hotter place, warmer than Washington.
Warmer than Washington, sure. And you are a victim specialist. Now, do I
Yes.
call you Agent Yana?
Nope.
No, just victim.
Victim specialist.
Victim specialist,
Yes.
Yana.
Yes. So I'm not an agent, not gun carrying.
Oh, is that the difference? Is that
Yeah. So about half of our personnel are non-agents, and the other half are. And the non-agents can be anything. We have nurses, victim specialists, HR people. You name it, you'll find it inside the FBI. So if people are looking at jobs, it's not just agents. You don't have to carry a badge and a gun and go arrest people. You don't have to do that. There's a lot of work to be done behind the scenes as well.
Yeah.
And things to also just help our people navigate, or in Yana's case, help victims navigate when they're a victim of a federal crime to become whole after that experience.
Wow. So I'm really going to get out of this radio. I want to work for the FBI.
Look, I do too. I was talking to her when I was taking her out to the bathroom, and she was telling me all the things, and I'm like, "How'd you get into this job? That seems cool."
Yeah,
Come
real
over,
cool.
Nikki.
I mean,
Yeah.
a little sad probably at times, but very interesting. Like, I feel like I could do what she does.
So, Yana, do you want a gun?
No.
You don't want a
I
gun.
don't want
Are
a
you a
gun.
gun girl or what?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
No, not at all.
My hands shake, so you do not want me with a gun.
Maybe less caffeine, more gun. See, that's crazy. I thought everyone in the FBI carried.
No.
No.
Nope.
Yeah, that's
No.
nuts. All right. So do you go out in the field?
I do. So I go out, I help out on operations. Because I'm embedded in the investigative team, I'll go out whenever the agents go out if there's a victim.
Wow. Okay. So that's so you're out there, but what if the bad guy's there and you got no?
I make the agent go to the door first.
Oh, I got you.
I'm behind them.
But do you,
No,
do you
gotta
put the
go.
vest on?
I haven't before. We have victim specialists that do if they're out in the field, but usually we come to the house. Like if it's an operation, we come to the house after it's been cleared, after SWAT does their stuff.
This is fascinating. Absolutely.
is.
I mean, like Nikki and I talk about you guys all the time. We are so
stop talking
We
about
are
it.
so excited when you come and visit us. We love what you guys do. So walk me through, Yana, how you got here. I mean, not your background, personal background, Russia and all that stuff, but I'm talking about how did you get into the FBI and become a victim specialist?
Yeah, so I was actually recruited into the FBI by another victim specialist. I started helping people, I guess unofficially, when I was 15 years old. I helped Russian and Ukrainian orphans who were being adopted by American families. And then from there, I just started volunteering with nonprofit agencies. And my specialty was human trafficking and kind of gang violence, so high violent cases. And I just built up in Fresno. I went from nonprofits to law enforcement to being a manager with the court. And then when I was kind of ready for my next challenge, somebody from the FBI was like, hey, we're taking people. Do you want to apply? So I did.
Really?
Later, I'm here.
That's fascinating. How long of a process has this been?
Well, it took me 2 years to go through background.
Yeah, 2 years.
Wow.
2 years.
And so when you say you started helping with the adoption from Russia and Ukraine into the United States, like illegal adoptions? Or no?
I wouldn't be here.
No. No. I'm not joking. I'm like saying like you were looking into that and trying to make sure that did not happen, but you were just helping just in general.
I was just helping in general.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Like with the transition of coming over here from
Right.
Russia?
Yeah.
Okay,
With
that
the
makes sense.
assimilation, I would fly out and pick up orphans and kind of bring them to their families and just help explain the laws here and different things
okay.
like that.
Yeah. Gina's like, no, she's not trafficking. No, that's not what I meant. Of course, that's not what I meant. I just thought that might have been, I don't know if that's a thing as far as, this like a black market for babies. I'm sure it's a thing, right? That they come from other places for people that want their kids here in the States. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
It might be.
Yeah.
It's not something I've looked into.
Well, let's just get this clear. Yana does not do that.
No, not at all.
Thank you for the clarification.
Sorry, sometimes I get tongue-tied. So as a victim specialist, obviously first thought comes like Law and Order, SVU, that kind of stuff. Is that like who you are, what you do?
Yeah. So basically, I'm, like I said, I'm embedded in the investigative team. And so I come on board and I always tell the victims, my priority is you, to make sure that you're okay. So whatever that means. Does that mean that they need to go to the hospital? Do they need housing? Do they need to be relocated because this happened to them? So it can run the gamut of what they might need, and every day looks different. So I never know what I'm going to be walking into because we're on call 24/7. So if something happens after hours that's federal jurisdiction, we might be called out on scene and just triage.
That must be a real pain in the butt for a personal life to be on call 24/7.
It's challenging.
Well, tell me of an awkward situation that was interrupted by the FBI saying that you had to be at work. Tell me the most awkward, uncomfortable, odd situation you were in.
Just remember, this is being broadcast.
I know.
I mean, it doesn't have to be something incriminating, but I'm saying, were you in the middle of a birthday party? Were you at a funeral or something like that?
No, I don't think I've had that. I've had one time when I was on my way to Mexico and I had people coming and picking me up and everything. And I got a call about a situation and they were like, hey, we need you to deploy out. And so I made a sharp U-turn. I handled the situation and still got to go to Mexico that same day.
Wow. With your
So that was a fast-moving day.
That was like buddy Mexico, like friends, right? Or not for work.
No, not for work.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
Sorry, girls. Gotta go save the world. Be back in an hour.
So you don't get actual like vacation if you're going to go out of the country and stuff like that?
We can.
Oh, okay.
But we just find coverage.
Okay, gotcha.
So for my area, if I happen to leave, I have to find somebody to cover that. If something pops, I have somebody that can respond out.
Do you have a special beeper? Or is there a light that shines
Like
in
a
there?
pager?
Yeah,
No.
like a pager. Is there a Yana light?
You're showing your age, Jason.
I know.
Do you have a special symbol that if we see it in the sky, we know that you're being called?
No, I just got my phone that's glued to me all the time.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. Have you ever missed a call?
Yes.
Oh, what happens? You get in trouble, I bet.
It depends on why you missed the call.
Yeah.
So as long as you can respond quickly enough and get the situation handled. But usually we're good about like, if I'm not available, they'll flow to the next person.
So the response of, I just didn't feel like picking up is not acceptable?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
No.
I did that to my boss the other week. He didn't like it. I said, I didn't want to talk to you. Gina, would this be, I mean, you have to have, I think you could say this, right? You can have personal favorites of what personally interests you the most within the FBI. Like, dealing with the gentleman you brought to us last time and then Yana this week. What are some of your favorite departments that, as far as personally, not save the world but just like so interested in it? Would this be one of them?
Oh, wait, I will tell you that there isn't anything that isn't interesting. That's the challenge, is figuring out what your apex. Of course, working with Yana and our other 2 victim specialists is always special, because I always know that that is probably the most important work that we do, because we're helping someone else. At the end of the day, we want to do our best to definitely live up to our mission and ensure that their safety and their security is respected. And so knowing that we have these victim specialists, when they call me, I know it's important. And I'm going to do everything I can to support that victim in any way I can. Yeah. Regardless of any noise that's in the media or whatever, we focus on what that person's needs are and try and also make sure that we're also respecting our investigation at the same time. Sure. But it's critically important work.
Now, let's get kind of serious for a second here, because what you do is serious work. And when you're dealing with kids, it's always serious, especially when you talk about human trafficking or, and I hate to keep referencing television shows, but I think that for people listening, they can, SVU, Law and Order, or Law and Order SVU, and then like Criminal Minds and stuff like that. So some of the situations that you've been in, do you mainly deal with the human trafficking or individual cases like the one that I have in front of me from the Sacramento story?
So that's the difference between working for the FBI versus what I did before, because what I did before, I was very focused on one crime type. Here, it's completely different because we have white collar and then we have our violent crime side. So white collar, you're dealing with romance scams, you're dealing with identity theft.
Like the gentleman that came in last time.
Correct. So it's not just kids. You're dealing with all ages.
It's anything and everything. That's why I say it keeps me on my toes, because I never know what the day is going to bring. It could be a bank robbery. It could be a romance scam. Sorry.
Yeah. No.
I gesture a lot.
What's your favorite?
Probably violent crimes against children.
Yeah.
Just because I love working with kids.
And you like to get the bad guy. And you feel probably extremely fulfilled when you get them off the streets, I'm assuming.
Yep, when the agents get them off the streets.
Yeah, I mean, don't anybody get it twisted. I understood what you were saying. It's not. I love that when it's probably the most fulfilling thing as a human being, knowing that you get up in the morning and you just saved a child's life and got a bad person off the streets, knowing that they're never going to do it again. You probably sleep like a baby that night.
Some nights better than others.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. Probably the things that you see and experience, though, it's not tough to sleep like a baby through, because some of this stuff's difficult to have to stomach and know that these kids even had to go through, right?
Right. It can be really difficult. And I will say, in my position, I'm not an agent, right? So I don't have to look at the material, and I don't look at pictures, and I don't look at videos if I don't need to, because I'm hearing so many stories. Then I need to make sure I'm protecting myself.
Right.
So I just focus on the kids and helping them. Like, what do you need today? So that's the rewarding part for me, is just knowing I made somebody's day a little bit better. The worst part of their life, maybe just a little bit better by being compassionate.
Do you have kids of your own?
I don't.
You don't?
I have 21 nieces and nephews, though.
Oh, so. Well, that's what I was going to say. Where do you get your practice?
All the babysitting.
All the
babysitting.
Best aunt. They're probably like, oh, Aunt Yana's coming over, and you're like, yeah. Come on, I need to practice. Absolutely. So this story with Bradley Earl Rager of Susanville, he's 67 years old. A federal grand jury returned a 5-count indictment against this guy back in July, charging him with engaging in illicit sexual activity abroad, transportation of a minor with intent to engage in criminal sexual activity, and coercion of enticement, which is a lot. And this is a big story that the FBI handled, correct?
Correct. And we're still in process, so the case is still in adjudication, so we have to tread very carefully.
Sure.
Every person who's accused and indicted is presumed innocent until found guilty by a jury of their peers. I want to state that way up front.
Sure.
Our effort with this particular case is identifying possible victims. So the challenge is this was a case that technically the activity that is alleged occurred over decades and in potentially more than 150 countries because of this person's movement across the globe. So our interest is trying to motivate people to help us share this story, because we don't know where potentially adult now victims who have shouldered this their entire lifetimes, where they may be And we certainly want them to reach out so that way we can engage them with people like Yana that can help them connect with services and heal and put this behind them. That is our focus. And so with the effort with Bradley Rieger, we actually had to translate all the materials into 6 different languages, distribute it all across the globe, and the effort to try and get individuals to come forward that need help. Our interest is getting them help more so than the case. The case is the case. Right now, our focus is on identifying those victims so we can certainly make sure that they're assisted.
What do you say to someone? I can only assume. I cannot talk firsthand experience, but I can only assume how difficult it'd be. If you were in this situation as a kid and you've gone through your 20s, you're in your 30s, and you're in your 40s, and you've lived with this hell for decades, and now you have a family that knows nothing about it. You've suppressed all of these feelings. You've pushed them down. You've pushed them away. It's eaten you up and made you this person, and maybe a lot of it you don't like. But now, decades later, you hear this podcast, you see this story in the news or what have you. How do you get them the help they need after all that time? What do you say to those people?
Well, I think it really depends on what that person needs, right? But I will say this case specifically has been really challenging because it's a different population, right? It's not children that I'm dealing with. And so you start by normalizing the reactions. We've been doing a lot of forensic interviews. So we have our own forensic interviewers who specialize in interviewing children or adults who have been victimized as children. So they'll come into the forensic interview and I'll just talk to them beforehand to kind of get a picture of what their baseline is. And then we'll talk about what their rights are in the case, and we'll kind of talk about what's normal after an interview like this. So when they've talked an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, I think we've had like 4 hours plus interviews to talk to them after something like this. It's not uncommon to feel like you just ran a marathon and you're going to wake up tomorrow and you're going to feel like you got hit by a bus. So here are some things that can help. And then talking them through the next couple of days, like what's going to help you in this. And some want resources and services and others just want information. I want to know where the case is going, at what point can I go to court, like what their rights are, what their federal rights are. So you're working different prongs at the same time. You're giving them information, and then if they want it, you're giving them resources.
And are the resources that you guys provide to them, like counseling and things like that, is that free of charge to them because they're victims? Oh,
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so there's different like state programs that'll pay for the counseling. We've been working to create special platforms for these survivors to make sure that they're all connected. So every
Like a
case is
support
really
group?
different. Yeah.
Okay.
So every case is really different on what people are going to need. And so you just have to adjust and hear what the other person is saying that they need. Because I don't come with an agenda and say, hey, look, you've been through a lot of crap. You're going to need at least like 7 to 10 years of counseling. I kind of hear where they're at and then adjust and see this is what I have in my toolkit that might fit your need.
And let's make this very clear. In order to get free counseling, you cannot make up a story, Nelson.
No.
Okay.
Dang it.
Let's make that very, very clear. Just because you don't want to pay for your therapist anymore does not mean you can go to the FBI and lie to them.
I mean,
So you can sit down and talk with Yana for a few minutes.
but I pay taxes.
I understand that, but you cannot lie to the FBI.
Little reality check, lying to an agent, really bad. It's a violation of federal law.
Listen, I'm not a good liar.
It's not
anyway.
good.
You don't need an
It's not good.
you don't need an agent to find out if I'm lying.
Maybe a car agent, probably.
Yeah, yeah.
When these people hear this story, I understand what you said, what you tell them when you get to them, but what would you say to get them to talk and to begin with? I know, like, after all those years and you have a family and people don't know that about you, I would think guilt and shame and all these things that you don't want them to feel because they shouldn't feel that way. It was not their fault. They're going to feel those things until they get help. But after 30 some years, 40 years, whatever it may be, they don't want to come out and say those things. I mean, you really have to be good in order to bring them forward, just to begin with, to get them out of the shadows, right?
Yeah, and I think, so we work as a team, right? Like the agent will talk about the case. And I think when you explain to people this is about holding somebody accountable for the things that were done to you and making sure that they don't have access to other people, right? That they can't hurt other people. So people respond to if I can't help myself and I can't go back in time and stop those things from happening to me, maybe I can stop it from happening to somebody else. And that hits home.
Yeah.
And I find that most people feel a lot better after they talk about what they've been holding down for many, many years.
Yeah.
So it helps them make sense of like, oh, these things happen to me. I finally put it out in the open, and now I feel a little bit like more relieved.
And anybody can go to FBI.gov/Sacramento if they're in this area, but just FBI.gov in general.
Correct.
You know, for the audience outside of Sacramento. And I'm assuming you stay anonymous and all that good stuff when they talk to you guys. Yeah, right? Yeah, that's important. And no, you cannot go to that website and make up stories either just because it's online. Now, Yana, did you have to go through this rigorous training that I'm about to go through here in the next month or so?
He's going to Citizens Academy.
The Citizens Academy.
Yes.
We call it rigorous training, not citizens. We've changed the name.
Look, I'm sure there are going to be some sessions that feel more painful than others.
That is true.
So did you have to do something, whatever it is that I'm doing? You know what I'm doing? I don't even know what I'm doing.
I have a picture of what you're doing because I presented during the Citizens Academy, but no, I didn't have to do anything like that. For us victim specialists, we're expected to come on with a degree in social work or psychology and then at least 3 years of experience. So me and most of my colleagues, like, we either have masters, we come from different backgrounds where we have experience, so it's a plug and play.
Okay, well, I have a college degree. Okay. I mean, if I want to move this career forward, I journalism, thank you. I have a college degree. I've watched the Masters.
I think that just flies you right in under the radar.
And I have about 30 years of psychology and sociology experience by doing radio.
I thought you were going to say experimentation.
That's it.
Well, let me finish. And then I was part of a lab group for a couple of years. So I'm so excited about this thing that I'm doing. And Gina, you keep bringing it up, but I haven't got my letter of like approval or recommendation. I don't know what I get. Do I get a letter into my door saying you're invited? Or is it like the skulls?
You'll get an email.
So
if you filled out your paperwork, you will magically get an email.
Yeah.
Once we know for sure we can let you in the door.
Oh, you got to do a background check.
Yeah, it's a limited background check.
Okay.
So no felonies, It's not as intense as ours, but we need to make sure that the person doesn't have nefarious reasons for entering our building. So there's a limited background check involved. And then you'll get an email giving you the details as to when, where, what to expect. And then, of course, that first evening, you get an entire package full of stuff and kind of what the expectations are going to be. And the coolest part, we try and fill the room with kind of the coolest mix of people that come from all facets of life. So you'll meet people that you wouldn't meet any other way. And in many cases, these are lifelong friendships that are formed in that room.
Yeah. Well, they're
so
my
it's
partners.
Exciting.
My future partners.
Your future partners. Yes.
Colleagues.
Colleagues. Agents. Yes. Fly buddies. Yeah. Right?
Yes.
I want to go by I want to change my name when I'm in the FBI. I want to go by Agent Buck Wagon Cover. I just think that's...
We're going to go to Alaska or something with that kind of name.
Yeah.
I want to say I'm Agent Wagon Cover. Doesn't that just sound cool?
I will say range day gets very entertaining with everybody kind of adopts that sort of persona. And it is funny, too. I will tell you that the day that you go to the range, the most mild-mannered person in the class that you would never expect is like this firearms happy person. And maybe I've never touched a firearm ever before will suddenly become like Rambo in a day. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. You can go by whatever name with your colleagues that you would like.
Okay.
Can you imagine it already? Wagon Cover, you've been a thorn in my side for the last time.
Or the head agents go and they start talking to this Wagon Cover guy's got something.
Yeah.
Like, he might be a little old, but that's probably why he goes by Wagon Cover. He's not Moonroof or he's Wagon Cover. And you went, Yana, through the firearms training, right? Even though you don't carry?
No.
Okay. You still don't have to do that. Have you ever fired a gun?
I have.
Okay. Do you like guns?
I don't feel certain type of way towards them, My roommate carries a gun. She's an agent, so I like that because at the house, if something goes down, I got
You got
somebody,
covered.
right? Exactly. I got covered.
Did you find like on Craigslist, like, oh, I'm looking for a fellow FBI agent to room with? Or did they put you all together? You like an FBI housing, or how does that work?
No, we happen to work together.
Oh, and you're just like, let's just room together.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Like
It's very convenient.
single white FBI agent looking for other single white FBI agent to share 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment, west side of Fresno if you want to stay.
It's your new sitcom, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's funny. Meet the FBI's.
Oh, that's funny.
That's funny. If you could carry a weapon, Yana, outside of a gun, all right, I'm not asking for a type of gun. What weapon would you want to carry?
A knife.
A knife. What kind of knife? I'm a knife guy too.
Something that I could probably slip into my shoe, slip in and out.
Slip in.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen?
Thought about this.
I see.
Have you ever seen Roadhouse, the movie?
No.
Patrick Swayze.
No.
Do you know
I
who Patrick
haven't.
Swayze is?
I think so.
Okay,
It's
you-
not ringing an immediate bell, but somewhere in there.
Okay, well, don't answer that like that ever again, or I'm going to kick you out of the FBI. But so Patrick Swayze's a god. He's no longer with us, but there's a movie called Roadhouse from back in the day, the 80s. Okay.
Or
Because
ghost.
it's back in the day. That's why I don't know.
Oh yeah. When did you
Before
when
my
did you get here?
time.
Yeah.
Have you heard of George Washington? Do you know about that? That was back in the day too. So anyway, there's a scene in the movie where the bad guys come into the Double Deuce bar, and one of them has a knife on the end of his cowboy boot. Okay, but Patrick Swayze, the cooler that he sees it and is able to do it. But anyway, you want to carry a knife, you get like one of those switchblades on the bottom of your shoe. I don't know what you wear, heels or sneakers.
Heels, cute ones.
Yeah, and you just
Thank you.
just tap the back and
tap.
like that.
Watch out. Gina, I can do that, right?
Sure, why not?
So you say you think about stuff like that. I think about this stuff all the time. Like I don't want to say, I'm not paranoid.
Well,
Not paranoid, but a little bit. Prepared. How about that? You stay prepared.
okay.
You
Always-
stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Always ready.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a perfect FBI agent. That's why I'm wagon cover. Right. So like when I go on a plane, closed-toed shoes, always wearing a belt,
Okay.
you know, because in case I got to regulate, right?
Okay.
And so I got weapons on me, and you know, and so I don't hurt my feet when I got a kick.
Okay.
She thinks I'm crazy.
yeah. She does.
I'm putting all the pieces together. You said experimentation earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not making this up. This is true stuff. I'm always.
No, it sounds good. You're prepared.
I'm observant. I'm looking at my surroundings. That's why I'm so mad I've been doing this for so long, and I've missed out with you guys for all these years. We could have really done some good
Sound like
things.
a lot of agents that I know.
God, if I could go back, I swear to God, Yana, you and I'd be roommates, and we would be talking about FBI stuff being on a radio show right now.
Wagon cover. You can't be such a loose cannon right now.
I know. Yana, pick up your towels. You know, stuff like that. Anyway, well, we're going to wrap this up. But for those that are listening, again, FBI.gov. And in the Sacramento area, it's FBI.gov/Sacramento. Yana Nebyshinets, right?
Yep,
Am I saying that
perfect.
correctly?
Yep.
It's a beautiful name, by the way. And you are such an amazing guest, and we appreciate everything that you do on a very, very serious note. So thank you for doing that. I know you really went out of your way to join us today. So thank you for doing that as well.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
And Gina, our girl,
Yes.
thank you for coming in
you.
once again. And I know you're busy, and you do this for us. So we're very blessed and honored to have you do this stuff for us. So thank you so much.
No, thank you for helping us educate people and let them know what we do and how to reach out to us.
And on Twitter at FBI Sacramento. You know what? Can you imagine being blocked by the FBI on Twitter? Like, is that not the ultimate?
Fun fact, we can't.
I was gonna say. I don't think.
Spoiler alert.
I was gonna say legally they can't because didn't Trump get in trouble for blocking some people? He had to unblock.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was like, that's the ultimate block, to get blocked by the FBI on Twitter.
Then all of a sudden you're followed by a blank account right after the FBI blocks you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I got to see if Agent Wagon Cover is available on Twitter before this gets released. All right, give us a like, share, follow at Listen to the BS on our social media. The radio show, of course, Monday through Friday, 98 Rock in Sacramento. You can always get that on the Odyssey app, thebaileyshow.com, and the video version of this conversation on our YouTube channel at The Bailey Show. All right, have yourself a great and good one. Thanks for being here. Bye.
Get off my lawn! It's old man Kevin, and the BS is done for right now.
Please share, like and support.
TheBaileyShow.com.
Now, get out of here.